In this video I'm going to show you how to install bed lights on your F-150 using the factory style switch. You're just going to need some wire, a factory style switch, you'll need your bed lights, and you're going to need a timer relay. You're also going to need some miscellaneous connections and an inline fuse. I obviously forgot to get that. I will have links to everything in the description below. So I ended up just soldering the wiring into the connector directly on the lights as well. They do sell lights that have the pigtails. They also sell a pigtail for the switch too. This is a momentary switch. That's why I need the timer relay. And I'm going to set this to 10 minutes. So every time I push the button, the bed lights will stay on for 10 minutes. And you can set this to whatever time you want. So you want to remove your tail light first. Just pull the tail light out and it just snaps out. And then there's a connection right here. That's it. That way right here, you can access the back of where that light goes. You can see right here, this is where the switch would go. There is two little prongs on this side that you just push in. And just pop it out. Your light's gonna go right there, and those get popped out the same way. Just like that. Now you can see both of those are popped out. So I'm gonna go ahead and use bullet connectors on all these. So this, I'm pretty sure goes on the flat side right here. And then this piece just goes up in the top. So I'll just push the wires through. There we go. And then the switch, the wires go down. There's a little notch right here and a notch right here. Push the wires through. Just like that. So first I'll start with the grounds. And I'm just going to run two wires to the same ground. So I'm just going to have a piece of wire. And then the ground goes right here on this bottom one on the side with the LEDs. So you'll need a small flathead screwdriver to get in here. Alright, and then on this side, I'm just going to have it go into the same ground. Just going to twist these two together. Use one of these ring terminals. And then for this, I just need to use a bullet connector. Alright, and then I put some double-sided tape on here. I'm just going to stick this behind the tail light. That's for the ground. Now I'll do the signal wire. And this is going to be coming off the switch. And it's going to go in the center one. Just put a bullet connector on here. Alright, and then we need the power positive supply. And the positive supply is going to be using the same positive that's going to go to the switch. So I'm just going to connect this to the switch. So it actually needs another positive and the middle connection on this side. I'm I'm going to use another bullet connection right here just to connect these. And then I can connect this right here. Alright, and then I need to have the wire going to the lights. That's going to go on this bottom one right here. And then for the connection, I'm going to have to run it to the other side of the truck too. So I'm going to have 2 wires going in here. Just like that. And I just have that however long I need. And I'll just cut it later. Now I can go ahead and mount this behind the light. So I just want to mount it right inside here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this ground that I have for my lights anyways. You would just need to scratch up the paint right here, install a self-tapping screw, and then that's exactly what I did. So I'll just attach my ground to this other ground, put the screw back in. Now that the ground's in, I can go ahead and remove my double-sided tape piece. I already cleaned that off. Just going to stick that right there. For my signal wire, that's just going to go down to my switch, the yellow wire. I did switch these connections, so it is a female coming to from the switch because that's where the power is coming out. So connect those, and then the power coming out of here, I'll connect that to the light right here. There's actually a hole right here. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm just putting the connection through there. Then my other ground wire, I'm just going to put it up through that same hole. And that's just going to connect to the negative on the light. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and run the wire to the other side of the truck. I'm just going to run that down underneath the truck and then back up to the other tail light. So there's a hole right here at the bottom where the tail lights are. I'm going to run it through, I run it down that hole. I'm going to run it across. I'm going to follow these wires because this already goes to the other tail light. And that just goes past the spare tire. It's kind of hard to see now. That's just going to go right up to the other hole. Alright, so I got the wire ran up to this side. I'm going to go ahead and strip it, put a bullet connector on here. And I'm going to use that same hole on this side. And it's connected to the light. Alright, I'm just going to scuff up the paint in here. So I just made a ground real quick. I actually did this already, but I didn't record it. So I just have a bullet connector on here with a terminal and a self-tapping screw. And that's just going to go in here to that bare metal. And then I'm just going to run that through that hole as well. Now this side's done. All I need to do is put the tail light back on. I don't have to worry about this side anymore. Just find that connector, plug that in. Put these pins back in. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the 12 volt from the battery, and it is a different day, so I do have my fuse holder now. I'll be putting a 10 amp fuse in here, but I'm going to do that at the end so I don't have 12 volts live while I'm running the wire. I'll just put on one of these terminals. Just going to connect powered right here. Then I'll just use a butt connector to connect the rest of the wire. And I'm just going to go ahead and run the wire across the front and then down the chassis. I have my 12 volts from the battery all the way to the back, and basically I just ran it down here, across, underneath here. I drilled a hole, zip tied it to right here so it doesn't fall down this way. And then on this side, about right here, I have another zip tie. I just popped these two clips out, lifted this up, drilled another hole, zip tied it, and then I have it down in front of the headlight, and that goes straight down. And I have it go into the chassis right there. And then it comes out right here, and it's just zip tied to the harness along the way. And this is right underneath the driver's side door. And it is coming out right here, ready to be hooked up. So now I just need to get my 12 volts to this connector and this one right here on the switch. So I'll just do what I did before and twist these two together. Put in a female bullet connector. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my fuse in. So I have power right here. You can see the LEDs are on. This will be on at all times, but it shouldn't draw that much power. And now I can just hit the button and they'll turn on and stay on for 10 minutes. So I do have it programmed. If you want to see how to program it, I'll go ahead and show you right now. There's 3 buttons right here. It's probably hard to see, but there's 1, 2, and 3. If you push the middle button, push and hold, and that will get the first LED to start flashing, and you just push the third one to change that. That would be 910 minutes. Go to the next one, change that. Next one. So right there, that's the maximum you can do is 999 minutes. Basically, it depends on where the decimal point is, if it's minutes or seconds. So if the decimal point is all the way at the end, then that means it's 999 minutes. If it's in either one of these, it's going to be seconds. And to change that, you push K3, and that's going to change the decimal point. That if you take it off, then it goes back to seconds. So you want the decimal point right here. Push and hold, change that to 0. Change that to 1. And then when you're done, just push the center button. It's kind of a pain, but basically the decimal point is what's going to be if it's seconds or minutes. When you first turn it on, it's going to be at 0.1 seconds. So that's why it's basically a momentary switch. So you'll just have to change that. It's in the instructions, but the instructions kind of suck. When you push the button, it'll start the timer. So the lights are on right now. You can see that light's on. And this timer is counting down. The decimal point right there is going to be your seconds, and it's flashing. So that's it. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.